Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Foreignish podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lexi Sheridan Coons, joined by Ziggy. Say hi, baby. He never makes an appearance, so he's happy to be here. I'm really excited about today's episode. We have a very special guest. Her name is Allie Millman. Allie is from Cali, just as her Instagram handle says. You can find her on Instagram at the Allie from Cali, or also find her YouTube channel, Allie from Cali with Real Cool Travel. She's got so many cool tips from having lived all over the world, traveled all over the world, and she's here to tell her story, and we're super excited to have her. So let's get to it. Here she comes. Yay!
Hi.
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 Wow,
Nice to meet you guys.
nice to meet you. You look
Yeah.
gorgeous. Looking
Gorgeous.
Oh, so
good.
do you guys. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've never done anything like this before, so I was like
No.
nervous. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay, you
God.
better like treat it real. This is really cool. So exciting. Well, Lexi, nice to meet you
Yeah.
Yeah,
guys.
you
Nice to meet you
too.
too. We're so excited you can come on and tell us a little about you, your story, how you ended up, because you're in Sardinia, no?
I'm in Sicily. I'm in
Sicily.
Catania. I'm in
Cool.
Catania, which is it's not a great week for Catania, but we'll have to.
Why?
The
What's going
cyclone,
on?
big cyclone hit the Mediterranean this
Really?
week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I don't think like would they I haven't seen that on the news, but because we've had like 3 huge train wrecks in Spain, like
I heard
horrible. So
that. I
yeah,
had students tell me about that. They were like,
crazy.
"How are
Yeah.
you? And did you hear what's happening in Spain?" And I'm just like, "What's going on, guys? There's so much happening.
Cyclone.
It's
I
so
didn't hear.
chaotic."
I haven't heard about the train wrecks, Aaron,
That's
but
horrible.
just
Yeah.
so you know, Allie, I'm in the West Coast in the US.
Cool.
So
Okay, cool. Where
Aaron
in the
and
States are
I
you?
I'm in Oregon. I'm in
Oh,
Bend.
Oregon. Yeah. What's up,
Yeah.
West Coast?
Yeah. You're a Cali girl. I'm
I'm
from
a
the Bay
Cal.
Area
Oh, right on.
originally.
Okay. Yay
Yeah.
area. Perfect.
Yay area. Yeah.
Why do you guys
Haven't
say
heard that in a
that?
while.
What's a yay area?
So where are you from in Cali?
I'm from Ventura County, so I grew up near
Cool.
Thousand Oaks. Yes, I'm a SoCal kid.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Nice.
totally.
Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So close to Santa Barbara. So my
Yeah.
parents went to UCSB. So did my sister.
Right
My
on.
sister still has a house there. So she lived there for like over 20 years. So lots of love for that area. And
Beautiful.
my aunt lives just inland of Ventura. Fillmore?
Fillmore, yeah. Oh my God. So my parents live in Santa Rosa Valley, so they live 30
Oh
minutes away
yeah.
from Fillmore. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
like
is beautiful over
Camarillo.
there.
Yeah, all country.
Super
That's so
country,
cool.
but more affordable, I'd imagine, and so close to Ventura.
Totally. And now all the celebrities come out to the pumpkin patch there, which is fantastic. So
Oh,
like the
cool.
Yeah.
Kardashians made like my childhood
Really?
pumpkin patch super funny. Yeah.
Oh
It's like
my
the big
God.
celebrity TikTok spot now. It's like
Well, and also like Ojai is really close, so people
yes.
bouge out in
Mhm.
Ojai. They have that really nice
Mhm.
hotel. Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely.
So cool. So super excited. I mean, you talked to Aaron a little bit
A little
probably on
bit, but not
Instagram
too
and
much.
Little
Right?
bit.
Yeah.
Little bit. Super. Yeah. A little
I'm
bit.
excited
Yeah.
to hear about your stories.
Love it. I'm happy and I'm comfortable to let my freak flag fly. It's just I don't
oh my
have like
gosh,
a
you're hilarious. I did see your recent short about the cyclone. That was hilarious.
and I
So,
got bad because that was like before it was a little bit of an egg on my face moment because it was like before it really got bad. Like that evening was truly hectic. That was the first really bad storm I've ever really experienced in Italy. And it was kind of like we only moved to Sicily 5 months ago. And so my husband's Italian, but
okay.
like we usually before we lived in Milan and we have a little bit of a fun story of living all over Europe for a while, but we were very like new to how serious this was becoming. And then the schools got
Okay.
closed. And so I
Oh
just kind of
no.
thought like it wasn't raining. So I was kind of confused. It was like sprinkling. And then that evening, the winds were at like 50 kilometers an hour. So they were saying like, what, 120 miles per hour? I mean, it was
Wow.
nuts.
Scary.
It was
So
nuts.
everyone's like inside, like hunkered down then.
Inside,
Yeah.
hanging out. I did see today that no one died. So that's
Good,
great because
good.
the
Did you
damage
guys
is.
lose electricity?
No, which I was surprised by. We
Yeah.
didn't lose electricity, but our elevator is broken. We did have some flooding in the kitchen. Like there
Oh
is
no.
damage, but I think the concern is like recovery.
Yeah.
It's a
Is it past
concern.
now, or are you still in the
Past.
middle of it? Yeah.
Past. Yeah, it was sunny
That's
and
super
beautiful today.
scary. Oh,
Super
no.
hectic. Yeah, yeah. So it was
That's
funny to
super
be like,
scary.
oh, I mean, it's not raining and everything's closed, and that's strange. And then that evening, I was like, oh my
Like,
Yeah.
gosh.
okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
scary.
crazy. There's been some massive there's always a natural disaster happening somewhere, but I do remember Spain a couple years ago, like Valencia
Yeah.
completely was
Flooded.
underwater,
Exactly.
like
Right. It
completely
flooded.
flooded.
Right. It fully flooded. And it was fast.
Fully,
It was
like,
super
massive,
fast.
massive damage
Totally.
to a
Right.
major city in Spain, so scary stuff. Okay, we wanna hear it all.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, we wanna hear it all. So we wanna start kind of with your full journey, like where you've been, how you started traveling, how you started your vlog,
So
your
funny.
husband that you
I
mentioned, all
know.
that good
That's
stuff.
a funny one. Yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of an unconventional one. It's one I've only started telling recently because I didn't think it was a story worth sharing, like that reality of like, do I post about it? Maybe I don't. But 10 years ago, I went to Thailand alone for 5 weeks. So I was 20 years old. And it wasn't
Wow.
meant to be a solo trip. A girlfriend was supposed to come with me. At the last minute, there was, like, we're 20, things happen. It costs money. Okay, she can't make it. And I already had a plane ticket kind of set up. And my dad was like, you got two options. You spend the summer in San Luis Obispo in Central California and you hang out with your friends, or you go and see if you can, like, do this. So
Yeah.
I did
So was
it.
this your first, like, big trip, solo trip? You
Big
were still in the
solo.
States?
That was the first time
Yeah.
that was my first time, like, getting on a plane by myself and going somewhere by myself and then
Ooh, it's
Wow.
scary.
enjoying it by myself. Very, very scary. A lot of things went wrong. A lot of
Mhm.
mistakes happened. A lot of, like, dumb, bad stuff that would make you think that I would never want to travel again. Like, I fell through a bridge. I got bit by dengue fever mosquitoes. I got dropped off in the middle
No.
of the jungle. No, like, truly a nightmare. Like, it truly, like, a story that, like, I call it the adventures in Cryland because it's just so bad. But it didn't
Toughened
deter
you up.
me. Yeah, it was kind of a nice slap in the face. And when you grow up in Southern California, and that's a pretty cushion life. You're not really
For sure.
experiencing that much adversity or just, like, challenges the world experiences. That was the first time I was kind of, like, face to face with it, and it beat me down. It beat the crap out of me 100%. My ego got checked. It was clocked. But then I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe I'll do this again. And so throughout my
Good for
20s,
you.
I thought I'd go again.
Yeah.
So a couple of years later, I went back to Southeast Asia and I actually lived in Vietnam as an English teacher.
Ooh, cool.
Nice.
So I was in, like, Ho Chi Minh City, and then I spent a month traveling the rest of Vietnam. And then I actually went back to Thailand because I wanted to get a second, like, hit in there. I
Yeah.
wanted to see how we can go. And it was much better the second time. It was great. And then I decided to defer. I was going to go to UC Davis, and I decided to defer and move to Australia.
Nice.
And I then stayed in Australia for over a year and a half. I got stuck out
Okay.
there during COVID, so that
Oh,
was a tricky time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The
And they had
Melbourne
a pretty
lockdown.
strict lockdown.
Oh yeah. Totally. Melbourne's was gnarly. My little sister was living in Cairns in the north, and
Yeah.
Queensland had no COVID. That was like a big headline. No COVID in Queensland. They closed the whole borders. I was in Melbourne in Victoria. And yeah, I called my sister and I was like, do you want to come here before they close the border? And she said, no. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they closed the border.
She's
And
like,
then
screw you. She's like, nope.
she was like, why would I leave a mask free zone for Melbourne? And I was like, you're right. You're in a much better situation. I should come to you. But I don't think I can anymore. And
yeah.
I'm going to get stuck here. So
Wait, so your sister was in the US or in
my
Australia?
younger sister, at one point, I convinced her to come out. So she had come
She
out,
was
but
in
she had gone up
Australia.
north. So she was living in Cairns. Yeah. I fell in
That's
love with the
nice.
city of Australia, and she was tougher than I was. So she went for, like, real Aussie, jungleness. Totally.
Out with the kangaroos.
The spiders, the crocs.
Oh my
Yeah.
It's
God.
the crocs, the snakes alone. I was like, I'll stay in Melbourne. They got
Yeah.
koalas down there. It's totally
Ooh.
fine. That's great. So then obviously COVID happened and I decided to go back to the States when I was finally able to get out of Melbourne. And I was going to UC Davis online from my parents' laundry room. and I was trying to find a way to get back out of the country, regardless of a pandemic going on. I was just like, I'm going to get back out somehow. Like, they're going to let me out. So I saw that I could do a study abroad program in Melbourne, Australia. And I was like, great.
Okay.
So I applied, I got in, and they said, great, we expect the border to open next year, but we don't know. And then next year happened, and they did not open the border because Australia didn't open the border for a long time, which was
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
like, even for international students or international business, it was like, wow, okay, you guys are gridlocking everybody. So UC Davis contacted me and said, hey, your program that you've been accepted to, that canceled it. There's
Oh.
3 programs left. There's this random town in Denmark. There's Seoul in South Korea, which I was heavily leaning towards. And there's Bologna. Have you ever heard of Bologna?
Of course. Yeah.
I've been to
Erasmus.
Bologna, love Bologna.
And I said, no, do you understand how embarrassing that is? I was like this world traveler, and I never heard of Bologna. I was like, you mean Bologna? And they were like,
It's
Italy.
a university town. It's not like a touristy town.
No, it's the gastro hub of Italy. It's the food capital of Italy. It's the oldest university in, I think,
What do they have?
the world?
Piadina
Tortellini.
Center?
Oh yeah, Piadinas too. Yeah, for Emilia Romagna.
food-
Right.
I remember
Totally.
going there with an ex-boyfriend who actually lived in Rimini for like
Oh, in
5
Rimini.
years.
I was gonna say Piadina. I was like, that's near Ravenna and
Piadina,
Rimini.
yeah.
Totally.
So
okay.
he took
so
me to
good.
Rimini, and we ate a lot of and I had been to Italy before, but not, gosh, the food, man, the food and the wine. Yeah, so good.
It's a tough
Anyway,
life,
go on.
We struggle out here.
Yeah. I know.
So I basically like my dad had experience living in Europe when he was younger, and so I kind of just went downstairs and was like, hey, my program has been canceled. I think I'm gonna go to Seoul. I mean, I was really leaning towards it because I lived in Asia. So I was like, I like this challenge. It's so cool. And he was like, Bologna. Like, take a minute. Just take a minute and look at it. And then I looked at it, and I always felt that Italy and France, because I had this like idea in my brain that I was a hardcore traveler because I was in like Asia and Australia, and those are challenging, and Europe is going to be so easy. So I was like, Italy would be easy. I guess I could just do it. And so I decided, okay, I'll go to Italy. Why not? What could happen? So I moved to Italy in 2022. I was doing a study abroad at the University of Bologna. I then came back to California briefly to finish the tail end of my degree. And once I finished my degree, I was kind of in a position where like I had a outstanding time remaining on my permesso di soggiorno di studio. It's a student permit for Italy. I had time left on it. And so it was like, well,
I should go back.
I have some money in savings, and I can either like, go to San Francisco and marry a finance guy. And there's no, straight up. I was like, there's the end of my travel adventures, and that's okay. Or we do one more rodeo.
A sugar daddy from San Francisco.
I was like, this would be, because I was at UC Davis. So I was working in Sacramento, and I have a lot of friends that live in Northern California. So I was like, listen, that could be the route. I could just end up being like the rich San Francisco housewife girl. I guess that's cool. Or we do one more rodeo and see what happens. And so I went back out on a one-way plane ticket. I ended up having some issues with my Italian visa. So I had to leave Italy and actually go to Croatia.
Oh, wow.
And this was a nightmare. I had to go to Croatia, and it was before Croatia had actually joined Schengen Europe. It was like the end of that. So it was okay. And so I got this job at this hostel to do work exchange, because basically I was like, I don't know how to make money. I don't have an online business sorted out yet.
Yeah.
I can't just like do this. So I should go work somewhere, which I had done the hostel work in Vietnam and in Thailand too. It's like a great way to save money. It's a great way to meet people and not feel like alone in a foreign country. And so, I was at this hostel in Zagreb and, like meeting lots of people. And then one day the Italian showed up, and that was funny because I was the only one who spoke Italian. And even back then, my Italian was really, really bad. Oh, it was so bad. Like, it was just bad. But no one even spoke a lick of Italian in the hostel. So it was like, if we're going to need you, can we ask you for translation? I was like, sure.
And also, just to pause really quickly, how was your experience in Bologna when you were studying? Were you like enthralled with it, loved it?
It's
It
the
was
reason
amazing.
it was the reason why I came back to Italy. That was the best part. I mean, Bologna was so surprising. I mean, especially because you're near Milan and you're near Florence, and like, we have this perception of like, Venice and Florence and Rome,
Yeah.
like these are the epic places to hang out. And really, Bologna is so underrated and it needs to
Mhm.
stay underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, which is
Yeah.
a problem. It's starting to get more and more pumped up. But I had a really great time there, and I often
Yeah.
tell people to go there. I'm like, skip. I'm like, look, Florence is great, but if you want to see real Italy, go to Bologna. It's a 30-minute high-speed train away,
Yeah.
And the
Always getting
language
off the,
barrier's
like
there.
always getting off the beaten track is, like, no matter where you are, right, in the world is the
That's
road
where the
less traveled
real
is more interesting.
experience, yeah, it's the real culture is experienced that way. You can
Yeah.
have it, it's okay to be someone like, because I mean, it's okay. Like, I know people who they don't like that when traveling.
Sure.
I have friends that are like that. I've traveled with people like that, and I get that. It is a really good exercise in testing like your guts, though. Like, I do think
Mhm.
everyone should do it. Like, sometimes you just gotta like let your stomach. Like, there was one time I was in Cinque Terre with my friend, and she was like, "Where are we having dinner?" And I was like, "We're gonna let Italy tell us we were having dinner." She
We're
was
gonna
like,
let
"What do
our
you
gut
mean?" I
tell
was
us.
like, "I don't know." I was like, "We're gonna like let the world like tell us and
Yeah.
figure it out." Totally. Anyway, when in Zagreb, I met Emma, who was a backpacker visiting from Milan, just on a little holiday, and we met. And it was that firework moment. It was that
Nice.
love at first sight moment, which is just weird. 'Cause we were even talking about it this morning. It's just weird, like that moment of we were chatting, and I was actually kind of seeing someone else. I was seeing
As
this.
you would do when you're 20, what,
Yeah.
23,
I was
24?
26.
Oh,
I
well,
had this.
still,
I had
20s.
this. I
All
literally.
your 20s
I
and
was like,
30s.
I had this right. I had this I had this little Italian side piece in Tuscany, and I told him
Love
I
it.
didn't want a boyfriend. I was like, no boyfriend. That's it. So when I met Emma, I was like, damn, I kind of want a boyfriend now. Okay.
Oh, I
I was
love
like,
it.
yeah, totally. So then I wrapped up my contract in Zagreb, and I went to Milan, and I just kind of never left. So that was cool. That
That's
worked
Oh,
cool.
out.
Yeah. That worked
that's
out.
amazing. So is your husband from Milan? Is that
Yes.
okay, born and raised?
Born and raised Milanese, totally.
So he wanted to get you over there to kind of spend more time with you.
Yeah, so I was already looking. What's crazy is I had gotten a job offer to teach English at a school in Milan. That
Mm.
same week, I was like, he was staying at the hostel and he was visiting. And so I went up to him and I said, you live in Milan. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I need your number because I have this job interview and I might need some like help. So I basically
Whoa.
like, I mean, I did
Wink, wink.
some would say it's unconventional what I did. It probably was. Was it the safest thing I did? No, not really. I got lucky, but yeah, I went up and went to Milan, and I went and he picked me up at the train station, and I stayed at his place. And there was an
Oh my
element
gosh.
of like nerves. I didn't think I
Yeah.
was going to get
Yeah.
killed at any point at all.
Good.
Not
Your
at any
guts were
point.
telling you
My guts
appropriately
were
what.
not saying, no, my guts were saying to get out of Tuscany and like get to Milan. I was like, okay. But then
Yeah.
my best
Oh, I
friend in
love that.
California was like, what are you doing? And I
Mm.
was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm living life. Do it like
Oh
Yeah.
my
La
gosh,
Vita,
yes.
beach, whatever. Let's do it. Let's fun. So yeah, I was already, I was looking at English teaching, and basically we, after we got married, we just,
Okay.
I know, yeah, because then we got married, right? We got,
Forward.
well,
We
we
immediately got
essentially,
married.
we did
Well,
it.
you
It
guys
was,
must have really fallen in love though, right?
yeah,
Like,
but we were in a difficult position because when we met, it
mm,
was like I had like
the
this.
visa thing probably,
I had
right?
a visa thing going on, and then I had a
Yeah.
job offer. And the
Yeah.
job offer, I was meeting with the dean of this academy in Milan. It was like this fancy private academy, and she was like, I'm going to be able to administer this work permit for you from Italy and get this all sorted out.
Nice.
Great. So then it's like, okay, we're waiting for that to get sorted out. It takes time. Italian bureaucracy is infamous and
Mm.
famous for being a nightmare.
Yeah.
And after weeks and weeks and weeks of going to the police station, getting documents checked, going back, getting documents checked, things are fine, getting missing documents, okay. I show up to pick up my permit to
Mm-hmm.
have a police officer look at me and be like, English or Italian? I was like, English, better.
English play.
And he was like, I have no idea how you got this far. And I was like,
Oh,
what do you mean? And he was
no.
like, this visa cannot be administered through this embassy. It has to be done through your home administration. embassy, which would
Mm.
be the Los Angeles Italian consulate, not Milan. So then I was
Right.
like, okay, well, that puts me in a precarious situation then, doesn't it? So what do you suggest I do? And he looked at me and he goes, who are you here with? And I
He's
was
like,
like,
"You
well,
wanna marry me?"
Yeah.
he was just gonna sideswipe. Like,
Probably.
listen,
Maybe that was his master plan. Maybe you coulda gotten the
that's why for
permit.
weeks and weeks and weeks he was like, this is what we're gonna do. I already see this is BS. It's not gonna work. But like, she doesn't know that. It's great. Language barrier, confusion,
Oh, no.
bureaucracy. So he looks at me and he was like, who are you staying here with? And I was like, I'm staying with my boyfriend. And he looks me right in my eyes and into my soul and go, do you love him? I had not told him that yet. So I was like, am I going to tell a police officer, an Italian police officer first, that I love my boyfriend before I even tell my boyfriend? And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, I do. And he was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an appointment at a different embassy here in Milan. It's the wrong embassy. That embassy is then going to make a new appointment and send it back here. And I was like,
What?
okay, why?
God.
And he was like, I'm buying you time.
Oh,
And I was like, and then he was like, so basically, it's time to get a lawyer and let's look into the boyfriend girlfriend relationship visa. Because I think that's where you guys are going to be better fit. And I was like, okay, let's play
so is
ball.
that like a pareja de hecho? Like, I don't know what it would be in Italian. It's
Think
like you're like,
so. It's a partnership. It's the partnership one.
yeah, like you're
Yeah.
legally married by partnership, but it's not well, it's not
Recognized as a
marriage.
marriage. Right. It's like 1 degree, but it was something that they did. It was like designed for same sex couples, I believe. I think that
Mm.
was the intention for more like conservative countries, like
Yeah.
Italy's a conservative country. So like that
Yeah.
would be kind of like that step. So we then went down that, which was promising. And at the same time, we're falling more and more in love. But, you know, it's difficult when your country's bureaucracies are putting you in a position like that. I mean, we had to have a very serious conversation pretty much immediately of like, how
Yeah.
serious are we? Because this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
already our
Yeah.
marriage. We're gonna be digging through paperwork. We're gonna be fighting for this relationship. We're gonna be fighting to prove the validity of it. We're gonna have to make people understand that
Right.
we understand each other. Are we on the same
Right. You
team?
get
Can we do this?
interviewed and everything in that process,
You
don't
get
you?
interviewed. You get questioned. There's
Yeah.
a lot of like. There's just a lot of basically. There are stricter rules for Americans and Australians when doing this in Italy. Because there's a bad
Interesting.
habit of Americans and Australians coming here. Apparently, that's what it says. I don't know. I kind of felt like I was like, well, hey, what did I do? I didn't do
Yeah.
anything. But you know, Italy's conservative, so people take advantage of the system, and foreigners do something wrong, then everyone in the future kind of has to pay the price, which is fine. It kind of puts you in a position where it's like, considering that it was a short duration of time to know each other, it really puts you through the ringer of, do you really like each other or not? Because if you don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to do this.
Right. So how long had you been together when you started that process? Was it like 6 months? 3? Girl.
1
1
month.
month?
We were 1 month.
My gosh.
We had known
So
each
now
other for
how
2
long have you
months,
been
but it was 1 month.
married?
We've been
Mhm.
married for over 2 years. We've been
Okay.
together
Okay.
for over 3
All
years.
right.
Yeah.
Good.
3 years.
Success story.
We did
Yeah, you
it!
did it.
Yeah,
You
we got to
did
be
it.
the mercy year. So good.
I love
know
that.
it's crazy. I know it sounds cuckoo bananas, totally.
Sometimes you know, though.
Yeah,
Like,
he and I
sometimes you
both
just
were very
know.
like, this is nuts. But we also were like, I was 28, he was 29, and we both were just like, we
Huh.
know it though. It's like we've been through the trenches, we've done all this stuff, and we had our lives had lined up in this moment where it was like, I think it would be a mistake if we ran. I think it would
Yeah.
be a bummer if we ran the wrong way. And
And
I'm
it's
glad we didn't.
it's a good age, you know, it's not like you guys are in your young 20s, you know, early
No.
20s, you know, you're in
No.
your late 20s, you've had, you know, other relationships and you know kind of more or less what you
Experiences.
want.
I
Yeah.
respect
Yeah.
him for being so I mean, it's really hard to find men these days, so, you know, involved and serious and committed,
That
right?
alone was, yeah, because even in the early days, there were moments where we like before, like when we had just met and we're just talking, you know, we weren't even at this point where like, you're going to get married or not. We're just getting to know each other. And he had made indications to me that he didn't really want to be married because his parents, you know, his parents were divorced when he was young. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like marriage is like a legal commitment. And then as soon as I was like, listen, the police are telling me we need to look at this visa, he was like, I'll marry you tomorrow. And I was like,
Oh,
really?
what a
I was like, that's so
sweetheart.
I
so
love that.
So
crazy. Yeah.
awesome. That's
So
awesome. That's
yeah, it's something to consider. Like he knew what he wanted.
yeah.
It is true what they say. If they know, if they want to, they will.
Yeah.
Right. And they know immediately. They know pretty immediately within the first 3 months for
Yeah.
sure.
They don't dwell. They don't think that hard because there's not
No.
much room to
Yeah.
think. You know,
Very primitive.
literally, we don't need to give them that much credit.
Yeah.
Like either they yes or no. I want
Yeah.
to.
They
I
know
don't
or
want
they
to.
don't know,
That's
basically. Yeah.
it.
I love
That's
that.
it. Totally.
I want to get to your fun story. So you've been in Sicily, well, Milan and Sicily for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about how you got into your travel stories. Let's mention your website, YouTube, what you're doing
Totally.
online there.
I kind of got into doing social media creation because I needed to work. And that was
Uh-huh.
like after this, we started this visa fiasco. I couldn't teach English at this school. And so I really had to create like opportunities from thin air virtually, which is very scary when you're traveling in a foreign country. Totally, right? We had a friend who was selling car cleaning products for luxury Italian cars who
Yeah.
needed a social media content creator and was just kind of like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you have TikTok? And I was like, for sure. I didn't have TikTok. I was like, totally. And so I kind of said yes to doing it. And while I was trying to create content for like car wash, which is fun, it's just like very manly, whatever. I kind of was like, okay, I need to play around with my own account. And I was like, whatever, no one knows me on there. I'm not on there trying to become famous. I don't care what people think. I'm on here studying data to reflect over to this account that I'm actually getting paid to run.
Mm-hmm.
And then the worst thing happened. I went viral on my account and then not on that account. And I was like, oh.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Literally, I was like, wow. I was like, that was such a cool experience learning that I have this gift. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I kind of just went from there. And my husband and I, after we got married, we spent about 6 months being locked in Italy jail. Like I couldn't leave the country because I had pending papers to stuff. And so once we did, we decided to pack up our things and travel around and work remotely around Europe. So we were living in like Montenegro and Ireland and Romania and Turkey. Yeah. But while we were doing that, I started building more content. So it was kind of this nice catch-22. I was teaching English online and then I was making content and traveling and now here I am and I just keep doing it every day until it gets somewhere.
I love it. Yeah. Tell us your YouTube channel. Is it The Alley from Cali?
The Alley from Cali with Real Cool Travel? Maybe it says Real Cool. It should be. Real Cool Travel is kind of like the overarching brand, I guess.
Yeah.
But The Alley from Cali with Real Cool Travel. Totally.
Hilarious for anyone who wants to check you out. You're so funny. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yes. And it's cool to see like how real you are as well. I think, I watched and Aaron sent over your video about being in what's the White Lotus town again?
Oh my God, Taormina.
Taormina, and you had social anxiety.
Oh my God, I social anxiety. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I love that.
Totally.
That's what people want to hear. People love to hear that. And it's scary traveling around the world sometimes.
Learning another language and trying to speak that language and not being good at it and being surrounded. It's very scary. I mean, even people hit me up and they ask about the language barrier of Italy. And I'm like, well, they speak Italian, but also it's there. Like, it's not as easy to find English speakers as you might think, but that can also add anxiety because I've seen Americans that like come to Italy and even my American friends that come to Italy and they're nervous. They don't know what to say or what to ask. And I'm like, we just have to try. They're not going to bite. This isn't the French. They're Italians. They're not going to bite.
That's sometimes one of the scariest first parts is trying to speak their language and being fearful of getting it wrong, which is so idiotic because you're going to make mistakes no matter what. And they're just grateful that you're trying to speak their language.
And you have to practice.
Yeah.
Like literally, you have to practice. For 2 years, I studied Italian and I didn't speak it. So that's a problem. And then,
Can you speak to your husband in Italian?
Yes, now I do. Yes, we speak to each
Yes.
other much more now. Yeah, for
Right. But
sure.
you met in Croatia and you were speaking in English probably a little bit.
Yeah, he's been speaking for over 10 years. He's self-taught. So
Nice.
over 10
Okay.
years. And so yeah, when we met, that was the default language. It was English.
Mm.
And then now we're kind of on this like it's 50-50, which I like. It's
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
me. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
But it's still like
Except for when you're
Italian is
mad. Everything's in English when
oh
you're mad.
oh
Motherfucker.
and,
Yeah.
and then he'll go into Italian and I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna say that in a different language. You don't think I can do that?
Yeah.
You want to hear
He's
me get
like,
that Italian too?
Fanculo!
Exactly. See, no, literally.
I know because I was married in my 20s. I was married to, well, Aaron also is with Jose, who
Yeah.
had like a German upbringing, but his parents are Spanish and they live in Spain. So like,
Cool.
so
Okay.
you
Yeah.
do like some English, but mostly Spanish. But I was married also to a Basque, Spaniard, but you don't call the Basques Spaniards. And
They're
so
Basque, right?
that
They're
They're the
Basque, right?
Basque.
I
Okay. They're
remember
the
like our
Basque.
arguments, I would just be like, motherfucker. Like I just go crazy in English. But eventually that did change. I learned all the curse words in Spanish. So
It's more fun to swear in Spanish.
It's
I
so
know.
fun to swear in a different language. I love
Yeah.
swearing in Italian. It
I
is
know,
so
right?
delicious. It is so juicy. And he gets mad at me when I say like because he taught me like dialect cuss words. Because in Italian there's like different dialects that
Yeah,
become really
sure.
popular, like minchia, which is like it's like it's Fox in Sicilian. But like, it's
Minchia.
minchia. Yeah, minchia. Oh,
Minchia.
That sounds
minchia.
so
If you
crazy.
say minchia, it's so cute. Isn't it like a cute little name?
Yeah, it
Minchia.
is cute.
It's cute,
Like Hello Kitty cute.
like Hello Kitty. Minchia. Is that though? Right. But it is super funny. If you're around Sicilians and there's something wrong, you go, minchia. You'll make everybody laugh. But then it's like, who
Yeah.
taught you that? And I'm like, what do you mean who taught me that? The guy in the other room was screaming minchia every time there's a bad phone call at work. I take notes. Come on.
Yeah.
Not my
You're
fault.
right.
I love that.
So
That's true of many countries. Like Spain has all those provinces that they're totally different. I mean, the Basque have their own language, but like, yeah, it's certainly different
Different
dialects.
attitudes, different vibes.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
a
Oh,
buddy
yeah.
who's Catalonian, and she was explaining to me
Oh,
like
gosh.
the different vibes of everywhere, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
everyone's got their energy, and everyone, or I've got some students from Andalusia, and they've got a very different
nice.
energy, and it's
Yeah.
like
For
it's
sure. I
interesting.
know.
It's
Totally
fun.
different
That's
energy,
the
yeah.
joy of
Totally.
being in
Cool.
a different country. Well,
Allie
I love that. And
Allie,
we're
you
running
said you
out of
had
time.
some like really fun stories. You want to like
Yes.
share something with
I
us?
wanted to say, like, we are running out of time, and I hate that because I want to talk to you for hours.
Yeah.
We can always have you back on. We'd love to have you back on.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Super fun.
But tell us anything specific that you find hilarious or something super scary. Whatever anything specific you can think of that would
Oh
you
my
want
God,
to share.
scary. Oh, scary. Oh, because the scary ones are so scary. I don't know. I think the scary ones are bad.
Funny then.
Yeah. I think the funny one it was I was thinking about like, it's just funny like my journey with understanding the Italian relationship with food has been very interesting because it really is so much more religious and deeper than we probably even I realized at times. And it's just funny because I was thinking about how like during Christmas time, you've got those big Italian cakes like the Pandoro and the Panettone, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so for Easter, they have one as well, and it's called it's like a Columba. Oh God, I don't have it written down. I gotta find it. I think I wrote it down somewhere.
You just yell at your husband.
He's gone. He's away for the moment. Amma! Okay. In English, we call it a dove cake. So it's literally this giant cake in the shape of a dove. It's huge. It's meant for like 10 people to eat, right? And it's like a traditional cake that you see for Easter specifically, okay? It's big, like large, like a family eats it. Okay. So I tried it for the first time. I'm not a big fan of like the panettone, but like this cake was like fluffy. It was very fluffy and it's like covered in like powdered sugar.
Yeah.
And so I loved it. And so my mother-in-law clocked that. I
Sure.
watched her watch me enjoy it, and I thought, oh no.
She's giving you a cake. Yeah.
It's a problem. Yeah, because if she sees it, then you're going to find yourself like in a precarious situation in a moment here. So after we went to lunch, we had, we went back to their house to have an espresso, which is a very Italian thing to do. And we're sitting there, and I remember like the cake was sitting next to me, and I did not speak very good Italian. She didn't speak English. So, but we're communicating, we always got along. And so she comes over and she's like, just like describing to me, like, imagine this is the cake. And she's kind of like making a shape with her hand for un peso, like 1 piece. Because she wants me to take a piece home for us to have for breakfast. I'm like, oh, cool. It's a big cake. There's only 3 people that live here. We should take some of this cake home to help. And she's like circling like this corner of the cake. I'm like, great, this piece right here, perfect. Box it up. We'll take it home. No worries. And then we get home and I open the box and it's the opposite side of the cake. Like she gave us the whole cake and only took that piece for her to have. She was asking, how much can I have of it? I'm going to give you the...
You're like,
I'm gonna
this
take
little
this.
tiny
I was
piece.
like, this little piece. She's like, oh. And I'm like, no. And it was just like, well, I mean, she might have been thinking, well, fuck me. It's like, no, I don't know. And then I think back and it's like, no,
She's like, you
wait.
cow.
Like literally, she's like, oh, my American daughter-in-law's gonna eat this whole dove cake to herself. Of course she is. Make sure she has some Nutella with it too. No, I'm kidding. I don't.
That's so funny.
She's a sweet one. No, but it's like that whole thing is just crazy. Or I mean, I went to my first like real Italian wedding this past summer, like a real proper Italian wedding in Puglia. So I knew it was going to be great. I wasn't worried about anything, but like, I think people take for granted that I'm still new to customs and like not everyone's, no one's telling me anything anymore because I've been around for a couple years now. So I don't get told like what's going on. Everyone just assumes I get it, but I'm still learning. And so after the ceremony,
sometimes we're spaced out too. Like, do you ever just space out? I'm like, I can't.
especially when I wasn't like speaking Italian, I was like, I don't care. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm on my phone. It's like, I could be listening, but I'm fully checked out mentally right now. It's like not helping. And then they're telling me stuff and I'm like, you didn't tell me. It's like, I'm mentally checked out while they're telling me. The wedding was it was dinner time. Okay, great. And so I'm not even kidding. It was like 12 different stations with chefs preparing different specialty items. Like over here is the cheese station, over here is fish, over here is meat, over here is fruit, over here. It's insane. It was like you have the antipasti, you have these pastries, like stuff I've never even seen before. And so it's like, well, this is amazing. Like, why aren't we even freaking out? No one's freaking out. I'm the only one thinking about freaking out. I'm like, don't freak out because this is normal. So just like hang in there. And as I'm like walking and I'm getting plates, I like sat down and I went and got like 2 or 3 plates because I was like, if this is dinner, this is great. I got to get this all going. And I brought my food down and I'm like starting to eat it. And my husband looks at me and he goes, well, you might want to slow down. And I was like, why? Because it's like, excuse you for having any opinion about what I'm doing with the food I'm consuming at this Italian wedding. And he was like, this is just the antipasti. This is just the starters.
Just the hors d'oeuvre.
They're going to bring out like 10 more courses.
Even the first course, not even the first. And I sat there and I was like, wait, what? And everybody, all of our friends at the table turned and looked and they were like, wait, what are you doing? And I was like, why are they knowing? And they were like,
eating a full dinner.
Yeah, they're like, well, you think this is all we're having? I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a ton of food everywhere. Am I supposed to think this isn't like dinner? This is the nicest wedding I've been to in a while. It's like, oh, well, there's going to be, this antipasti. And then if you look here, primo piatto, that's the pasta is next. I'm like, the pasta's next? We're doing pasta after this already? I have a plate of bread, guys. Like, what do you mean there's
the bread
pasta
is so
next?
good too.
And the bread is so good. Oh my God. And the focaccia is being made fresh.
So did they have pasta and then meat and then dessert?
Meat, fish, and then dessert. And then you have like aperitivos after that. So like the digestivos and like, yeah, it was like a whole thing. It's like a 12-hour
it's
experience.
Crazy. Like Italians, I feel like Southwestern European countries really, probably all over Europe. I don't know as much about, like places like Lithuania and whatever. I'm sure they gorge out too. But I mean, the menu del dia, like you'll go to a restaurant in a little town and you'll get like a ensalada mixta, which could be like a meal, and that's just, they love to stuff their faces. I love that. They love
to stuff their faces. And then it's funny because obviously they're kind of like, oh, you're an American, you're complaining about there being too much food. It's like, listen, that's not the issue. I'm complaining about there being this much high quality food. You think that might be shocking to you?
Everything.
That's maybe shocking for me. It's a little surprising and it's just free. So can I be
I
blessed,
need it.
please? Am I
You're like, I
the
want to feel
groom?
sick after this. Okay. I want to feel sick and we're going to get it done. I love that. Yeah. We talk a lot about food, language faux pas,
Mhm.
so common.
Mhm.
We love hearing from you. You have amazing energy. You're
Yeah.
It was so
hilarious.
fun, guys. It was
A lot of
great.
fun. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Me
too.
too. Yeah,
Okay,
it was
sounds
fun.
good.
Yes.
And we would love, love, love for you to come back and tell us more of your hilarious stories because I'm sure you have a million and you're probably going to have more as you keep living out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to jog my memory too, but also it was just super fun.
so you're always welcome. We will reach out to you to have you back.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
Allie,
guys.
if you ever end up in the Basque Country, let me know. Like,
Yeah, we'll do
so
a
get
vlog.
some drinks
Yes, do a
We'll
together.
go get some
vlog
sangria. We'll
together.
get some vlog. Let's go. And
Do
we'll go
it.
start some shit with the Basque boys. Let's do
Yes,
it. Heck
you would
yeah.
love it here, Allie. You would
They would
love it here.
love that from you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
sure.
love that from you.
Sure. My husband would not like that, I'm
No.
sure. He would be like, oh God.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you guys
coming
so much.
on.
It was so nice
Yeah.
meeting you.
You
I look forward to
too.
seeing all the content and seeing
Yeah.
you guys'
Yes,
next episodes too, okay?
absolutely.
Okay.
We'll
Thanks,
send you all the
Allie.
deets for
All
sure.
righty. Thanks so much. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. See you later. She's so cute.
She's so cute. So much fun.
Hey, that's a wrap on today. Thank you all so much for joining. If you haven't yet, please click like and subscribe to our channel, the Foreignish Podcast. And don't forget also to send us an email. Tell us about your stories. We want to hear from you if you've been abroad. You can write us an email at podcast.foreignish@gmail.com. That's podcast.foreignish@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for joining. See you next time. Bye.